Going back to 1987 here, playing the very first Final Fantasy. The very end of the game, going to go through the Temple of Fiends. A fine way to kill time while quarantined. Using a party of the obscenely overpowered black belts who turn into masters partway through the game. The only character I'm convinced at this point that's even worth using. So let's see how we do. So hopefully I won't get trapped by bats immediately. Good. Talk to this orb. The 4 orbs now cover the black orb. To take a step back, or to take a step forward is to go back 2,000 years in time. There's a very convoluted time travel story in this game. I've played it maybe 100 times over 25 years and I still don't understand it, but I guess that's not a big deal here. Alright, so yeah, these characters are so strong. They casually hit for like 2,000 points of damage. And to put that into perspective, the last boss of this game only has 2,000 hit points. So I'm basically going to be one-shotting everything, which is fine. Right? Moving on along here. Normally there's not too many fights on this first floor, but there are going to be 3 dragons here, 3 frost dragons, no matter what. Oh, wow. That's the first time they've ever not appeared. Alright, awesome. Keep going. And because this is an old RPG, everything is a damn maze. But I know the way. Alright, so, yeah, there's 9 of them, but they're not much. What I'm going to do here is I'll save a little bit of time, and I'm going to use these items to cast spells. I'll use this one to heal, just in case. These guys can't cast any spells on their own, but once you start collecting items that allow you to cast, attack spells or healing spells, then it goes from being easy to just a joke. And I remember thinking at one point that this game was hard, and I think in a lot of ways it is, but it's just not hard anymore. So I'm going to speed it up a little bit, save a little time. I'm going to do that again. Right. There we go. Playing this on that RetroArch emulator on Android right now, and that fast forward feature is just, it's a blessing. The problem is that, like, in the menus it doesn't work because when you try to click on a command, when you hold it down, it actually clicks on it multiple times, so you kind of skip through what you're trying to do. So you got to slow it down for actual battles. Gas Dragon. All right, well that's I guess that's pretty good, but they have no hope of ever doing any damage to me, and not no damage, but actually being a threat. They call them gas dragons because they have this poison gas attack that does damage to each of your guys, but he didn't even fire one off. Yeah, everything in this game, just every enemy at this point is just complete fodder. Alright. What do we have here? Mage and Fighter. Alright, well, these guys, sometimes they do the smart thing and they run. Which, it's annoying when enemies attack you and then they run away. It's just kind of like a waste of time. I'd rather not have to fight them at all. And this whole place that I'm in now is it has a collection of a lot of the strongest enemies from past points in the game. And a lot of these guys would be threatening at one point. A lot of them can use like instant death attacks, but the problem is that this was the first Final Fantasy game that Square made, and they have these protect rings there that basically they protect you from any kind of instant death attack. And where the problem is that you can buy them in this. In the other games, they got smart and they made it so that you had to find them, but no, you just buy them. And you buy them, it was a way back that I bought those, and at that point, you're just not in any kind of threat from instant damage at any point from then on. So this guy's always there, and he is a joke, just like everything else. 1,382. Yeah, that's kind of an actual weak hit at this point. I don't know. That thing might have, maybe like 500 or 600 hit points or something. It's never a challenge though. So there's this big stone plate here. How do you get rid of a stone plate? Well, you play a lute, because why wouldn't you? What else would do it? All right, and let's keep going. All right. Yeah, I mean, everything is a maze. I'm just ignoring all of these doors just because I know that they don't lead anywhere. Zombie dragons. These guys are nothing. Lots of dragons in this place. Alright. Let's keep going. There are, a little while back where I came out of that room where I fought that big eyeball before, there were a couple of treasure chests in there. I did not get them because I don't need anything. Um, those treasure chests, they just have money in them, you know, gold pieces, and I've been maxed out on gold pieces for, you know, 3/4 of the game, so it's really not necessary. There are pieces of equipment in here too, which I'm also not going to get just because I have everything that I want. Um, There's one of my characters is a little bit more susceptible because he does not have a piece of equipment for the head called a ribbon, which protects from any kind of status effects, poison, you know, stone, getting turned to stone, stuff like that. The other three do have them. As far as I know, there is not a fourth one in the game, so he's just a little bit more susceptible, but it's not going to cause a problem. I think, that, if I remember correctly, I think that the limit, or I should say maybe like the record for the most damage I've done with one of these guys is like 2,600. And there's a spell that a black wizard can cast called Fast, which allows the character to do a lot more hits and do a lot more damage. But I can't use that right now because none of these guys can use magic on their own, which is fine. I mean, they're I can't really imagine playing through this game with any other starting group other than the 4 black belts who become masters later on if you pass this little side quest. They just get so much stronger every time they gain a level, and their agility goes up too, which makes it so when an enemy does hit them, you see how I hit them and it's doing, you know, 7 hits, 8 hits, 9 hits, 10 hits. Well, with the agility up, then it reduces the chances of enemies hitting you a whole bunch of times like that. So if my guys do get hit, it's going to be for like 1 or 2 as opposed to 1 or 2 hits, as opposed to, you know, like 5 or 6 hits or something like that, which enemies at this point can do. But the agility that these characters gain at each level is so much that they just barely do any damage when they hit me. And their attack power goes up like 2 every single level too, which is just insane. Earth elementals, these guys were kind of bruisers when you first meet them. Now they're fodder. They can still hit for a little bit of damage, just because, as I was saying, I mean, like, the amount of times the enemies hit you go down so they do less damage, but my guy's actual defense isn't that high. Okay, Mud Golem and Rat Golem. Can you tell which is which? This floor has a whole bunch of earth elemental enemies because at this point, what you're doing is you're going back and you're fighting each of these 4 fiends, which are kind of bosses that you fought earlier. And there's elemental. There's like an earth fiend, a fire fiend, you know, a water fiend, and an air fiend. So this is the floor where you fight the earth fiend for the second time, Lich. Now these guys, you do not. The guys I just fought, you don't actually fight in the part of the game where you take on the earth fiend. I wish you did though, because they give you a lot of experience and a lot of gold. Green Medusa, no threat here. Glance would normally turn you guys into stone, and I do have to be careful because, as I was saying, it's him there that I creatively named CCCC. I think he's the guy who does not have the ribbon, so he is susceptible to attacks like that. It so rarely hits at this point anyway, but it is something to watch out for. And I think I'll just use a healing item here, not that I need to. This game is more challenging up before you get these items that anybody can use during battle. See, this cures a little bit of hit points for everybody when you use it, just like I had been using, like, the Thor's Hammer, cast Lit 2, Lightning 2 on all enemies, Mage Staff I used, cast Fire 2 on all enemies. You don't have access to that stuff early on, so it does make it a bit harder, and having it here with characters who can't actually use magic is a real nice thing to have. Okay, here's Lich. I don't understand why the strongest of all undead enemies is the Earth Fiend. But whatever, he's one shot and he's dead. By a lot. I think Lich has maybe 600 hit points. He does have he has a strong physical attack. I mean, all of the fiends do, and a very strong magic attack. He uses Nuke, which is the strongest offensive spell in the game, and he can still he can do like 250 or 350 points of damage if he were to use it, but I just killed him too fast. Now these guys are all red. These are all this is the floor, which has the Fire Fiend carry. So all of these enemies are going to be fire-based. They can all use attacks that do a little bit of damage to each player, but the amount is just minuscule. All right. Let's go up here. Here. Oop. What do we got? Okay, so fire elementals. These guys are the same sort of thing as the earth elementals. I mean, cool enemy. I love the look of them. I just like, I don't know, they're just kind of cool looking. High attack, but it doesn't matter because their attack is not quite as high as mine. Not by a long shot. I think these guys have maybe, I think like 489 hit points, maybe. If they connect, then they'll do maybe like 50 to 100 damage, which is a pretty good attack, but using the black belts here and getting them up to the max level, level 50, they're the only guys who can get up to 999 hit points, too. I didn't use any kind of codes or cheats to get them up there. They just naturally get that strong. Grey Worm's another enemy, high attack, doesn't matter. 2358, not bad. 2008. Yeah, casually hitting for 2000. If you had another, hold that thought. Here's Carrie. I always like Carrie's design, kind of like that woman's torso with the 6 arms, and that's actually a snake body, and I know it kind of looks like a spider abdomen down there, but you can't really see with the low pixel count that it's actually a coiled snake thing. I mean, you can see it coming out of the back, but it does look like a spider abdomen. I thought it was for a long time. Carrie is nothing. She's a joke. Will she get to attack? Nope. She's that design. She's from like some kind of ancient god. I don't know if it's like Hindi or something, Asian religion, but that's what she is based off of. Cool look. I always like the way she looks. Okay, so this is the floor with the water fiend Kraken. So this is all water enemies. Whoops, all water enemies here. Now here I'm going to use stuff like this, like Zeus Gauntlet, cast Lit 2. And water enemies are weak against lightning. Bane's Sword, that's kind of like a poison gas attack. Mage Staff is Fire 2, which still works just as well. And Thor's Hammer, which, again, casts Lit 2. And I'm going to speed it up here. Save a little bit of time. Alright. Do that. And I think I'll do just maybe sneak in a chance to heal there, as long as he uses that before the other guys attack. Same goes for him. I don't need to heal, but why not? So I saw hitting there for 2458. Not bad. Okay. Oh, wrong way. That's what happens when you start talking and stop paying attention. Okay, going down here. Okay, water elementals. Same thing as other guys, but they look a lot dumber. These guys are not the most impressive enemy. Good hit, 67 damage, but that's just not going to do it. Seems kind of strange that punching a, living, I don't know, whatever that is, like a water twister or whatever, would do anything to it. But hey, it's fiction, so what do I know? Something else to keep in mind is that the enemies in this game disproportionately wail on the top character in your party, so you can save trouble and save time on healing and stuff like that, and just make it easier just by switching one of the guys with more hit points and putting him up top and letting him get wailed on for a while. It's a flaw in the programming. I haven't seen anything officially stating that's what happens, but there's no doubt in my mind that that is what they do. So I'm going to do the same thing here. Although, you know what? At this point, I think it might be quicker just to do it like this. I'll just attack and then just speed up that way. Sorry if that sounds hideous with the music going in fast motion. Okay, same thing. You see how I have to turn off the fast motion there when I enter into the menu, as I was saying. You'll click right through. This is a game where if you have multiple characters attack one enemy and that enemy dies, then the other character's attacks just don't do anything. They don't automatically go to the next enemy like they did in other games. And that's very, very annoying. But what can you do? Again, this is Square's first role-playing game. Funny fact, the name Final Fantasy came because this was their last chance at the company basically not going under. It was their final fantasy of being successful. And I'd say it worked. Before this, Square made what? They made like Rad Racer. Ugh. If you've ever played Rad Racer, then I don't need to say anything else. If you haven't played Rad Racer, then don't. You won't be in for a good time. Alright, let's wail on this guy real quick. So I do have to watch the hit points. I mean, I'm not in any danger, but look at how the second guy, A, only has 500, and the guy below him, 952. A was at the top, and he was getting wailed on for a while, but, that's what happens. Okay, so here is Kraken. Will he get to attack? Nope. There you go, 3 out of 4 Fiends, absolutely just one-shotted. Very satisfying. Now onto the floor where the Air Fiend Tiamat is. Now, go down here. If I go down, I was thinking about taking a little detour because there is down there is there's a weapon. It's mass immune. It's the strongest weapon in the game. It's much stronger than anything else you have for anybody at that point, and any character can use it. And I went down there and I tried it out. And my characters are so strong that equipping Mass Immune results in a 26% decrease in their power. So that thing, the strongest weapon in the game, stronger than anything else, will have my guys hitting for a third of what they actually hit at right now. That just goes to show how strong, just how overpowered these characters are. Okay, here's Tiamat. Oh. I guess the Tiamat is going to be in the very next square. False alarm. I use the term alarm loosely because I'm not threatened. Not exactly sweating here. I know you can't see me, but I can assure you I'm not sweating right now. Going in here with 369 hit points, I'm probably going to one-shot Tiamat, but he may get off a attack first, but I don't think it'll do 369 damage, so I'm just going to ignore it. Okay, Tiamat. Time for you to meet your doom again. Bane is a poison gas attack. Yep, alright. Boom. One hit, one kill. He's got Moxie. I mean, at least he tried something. Ugh. Vampire. This guy's actually a boss, too. He's like a mini-boss. I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to... Nah, I was going to heal a little bit, but, you know, I didn't come here to heal. I came here to just run headlong into danger, whether it's the right thing to do or not. These guys they still have a strong attack. 67. So, Homeboy there's down to only 282 hit points. I don't know why they're wailing on him. It's very unusual that they're not just wailing on the top guy. But what I'm going to do, I think, is... Maybe I should not be an idiot and just heal a little bit there. Fight, and hopefully one of these two guys, or preferably two of them, will get their healing helmet use off before the other two attack and kill the enemies. I could just use healing potions, but... That seems so, I don't know, it seems so weak. Yeah, you know, the hell with it. I didn't come here to use healing potions. Alright. Final area. This is where the last boss, Chaos, is. And, well, what's to say about Chaos? He looks pretty cool. Is he a threat? No. I haven't one-shotted him. He does have higher defense. but I think it's possible, especially if I had that the spell fast I was talking about earlier that lets your guys hit for more. I'd definitely be able to one-shot him. But that's okay. So he says, "Remember me, Garland." That's his name. You fight him at the very beginning of the game, and he's just like really weak. Your puny lot thought it had defeated me, but the four fiends sent me back 2,000 years into the past. Okay. From here, I sent the four fiends to the future. The fiends will send me back to here, and the time loop will go on. Confusing. After 2,000 years, I will be forgotten. That doesn't happen because you fight them. It's the very first thing you do. And the time loop will close. I will live forever. No, you won't. And you shall meet your doom. He just says that they will send him back. You know, he knows damn well that he's not going to live. Never mind. Never mind. See, I don't understand it either. Okay, Chaos. So is he going to fire off an attack on me? Well, let's find out. Ugh, Tiamat did better.